Unfortunately, at a young age, when I accepted plea bargains, I didn't realize at the time that they would come back to haunt me and slap me in the face with a life sentence.
If they went through and basically said, okay, I'm going to plead guilty, in their minds, they were kind of fulfilling a contract. They were going to do X amount of time to not have to go through the trial, to save the state from the trial and all the possible appeals.
I wouldn't have accepted a robbery conviction back in 1978. In 1987, I accepted a second-degree robbery charge, which means the no use of force or fear. But the fact is it was actually shoplifting. I was shoplifting to support a drug habit. The security guard scraped his knee chasing me, so they charged me with robbery.
So in their minds, they've gone through this contract and there's kind of a finality to it. To turn around then and implement something like the three strikes law, which now gives them 25 years to life based on these prior negotiations, in their minds is a violation of contract law.
His 1988 burglary is the one that we really have problems with. Chano's an addict. He's a heroin addict, and he was high at the time, and he broke down on the freeway. He walked up to his mother's house to call and get some help to get towed. He had left his keys sitting in the vehicle. He couldn't get in. So she had a small house on her property that she rented out, and Chano had always done all the maintenance work on it. I mean, he didn't break in as much as, you know, he could just walk into the house. So he was on the phone. The two brothers who lived there came home, and Chano panicked. He ran out holding the receiver of the phone. The public defender that he had said, "This is a nothing, you know, you're going to do a couple of months." Of course, later we found out that this could have been argued down to a trespassing charge. This was his home. This was his tenants. Nothing of value was taken. It was returned. But neither here nor there, he pled guilty to it. So again, second-degree burglary, which wasn't a felony at the time.
Most of the folks that I prosecute are not, you know, they're not white, okay? And they're poor, and they're addicted.
Go down to the Los Angeles criminal courtroom. Sit there for one day, and you'll see who goes to prison. You'll see African American and Spanish speaking people coming in their jumpsuits all day long, and you look at who's in there defending them, prosecuting them, and judging them.
If you have someone who's facing 25 to life, and they have a case that maybe they're not even guilty of, and you tell them, look, the DA says he'll give you 32 months in state prison, you'll be out in 24 months. But if you go to trial, they say they're pulling out all their guns, and if you're convicted, they're going to give you 25 to life. How many of us would take that gamble?
I thought it was just they trying to scare me, you know. But in the process, they keep pushing the 25 to life. So I said, let's take him to the jury. So we took him to the jury. They gave me 25 to life.
Because the jury found you guilty, but the jury didn't know. Did the jury know you were facing?
No, they didn't know.
Why is it, are we the only criminals, the blacks and the Mexicans? I'm not saying the other people aren't, but the other ones that are white are because they haven't got any money.
Blacks in California are being sentenced under three strikes at 14 times the rate of whites. It's extraordinary. If you were setting out to design a law that targeted blacks, you could hardly do better than a one that affects them at 14 times the rate of whites. And there's no evidence that that's backed up by criminality in California. Blacks are not 14 times as likely to get arrested for crimes as whites are. They're just 14 times as likely to be struck out under the three strikes law.
You know, I got struck out on a dope case. It's sad. It's sad. It's real sad that you know, undercover officer, you know, approach you and ask you to go get somebody to sell some dope. You know, I mean, It's wrong because it's trickery. Now, if I'm walking down the street minding my own business, and here you come and ask me, do I know who somebody buys some dope? Yeah, I live in the ghetto. I know. You know, so I tell you go down the street and get, you know, buy some dope. That person sell you some dope, then you come down the street and get me, take me to trial for sales of cocaine. I never touched no money, no dope, but you give me 25 to life.
Blacks are much more likely to be meted out harsh sentences under the 3 strikes law. So I think we're fooling ourselves if we think that, you know, racism has been eradicated from the criminal justice system.
I'll serve my time, I'll come out and be a better person. Well, you can come out and try to be a better person, but it's going to be hard as hell.
I got pulled over, they took my license, they went and ran it. I'm sitting in the car, I'm waiting for them to come back. So they come back and say, oh, yeah, could you step out the car for a minute, please? I step out the car. You know, anybody else, they sit in your car, you get a ticket, you off. My license was valid and everything. You on probation or parole? And I just looked at them. And I said, my name is Roger Douglas. Because they just ran it in the computer, right? And I said, yeah, I'm on parole. So then they say, oh, yeah, you got a couple of strikes, huh? I said, yeah. So the first thing he said, well, do you mind if we search your car? I mean, you asking me when you know you're going to search it anyway.
If you're an African American, Spanish-speaking person, and you've got 1 or 2 strikes, man, you got a big target on your back.
If you come from an impacted community of poverty or a racial minority who has historically faced prejudice and oppression, how much faith do you have in the system to protect you? How much faith do you reasonably have in your defense attorney, in your public defender, in the court, in the prosecution, in a jury to render a fair and just verdict?
And I know that he wasn't getting out, so I had to do my best, like, to keep him strong, especially when he kept me strong. I started doing better in my work to make him happy. This is like my favorite report card because I got A's in mostly everything.
I'm just a girl who walks with the sun shining on my back. I'm casting many shadows on the concrete ground as I'm looking down.
You know, 28 years to life, that means he have to do 28 years, but they don't have to let him go after that. Never have to let him go. So he always talked about it's a possibility of never coming home.
A neighbor of mine called me and told me my husband was being arrested. The police had him. So I just figured it was a ticket. So when my husband got to jail and told me what he was being charged with, a 3 strike. And I'm asking him, well, what is 3 strikes? He said, something they give you, something about 25 to life. I said, 25 to life for what? I thought you went for a ticket.
He had no idea that they was going to give him 28 years to life, none whatsoever. He was shocked, I was shocked, his wife was shocked, the whole family was shocked.
So when I found out what he was arrested for, it was a possession of cocaine. And I told him, I said, that shouldn't carry no 25 to life. And so he was trying to explain to me that they're going on his past. You already did time on your past. You know, you did time for that already. So what is this, double jeopardy?
My brother needed help. I think he should have been sent to some kind of drug rehab for treatment. He had tracks on his arms, and he was an addict.
It was kind of hard when Galen first left. I didn't know how to really tell my daughter what was going on. You know, I think it took me a while before I told her what he left for. But
I understood before she told me, because I knew.
My brother and his daughter was very close because he spent more time with him. While Charlene was working, he was home babysitting, cooking the food, cleaning up. He could cook. You know, taking care of his daughter, taking her to school, picking her up.
And I didn't understand how someone could take a child's parent away. And I cried.
His daughter, Terivia, really I know had problems dealing with this. Problems to where when she was in school, she had an attitude and she needed counseling. His wife having problems because her husband is not there. She's trying to make ends meet. He was helping raise his daughter. He was giving her the love that every daughter needs to grow up to be a healthy young girl. And she don't understand why her father can't be forgiven, why her father can't receive help. She know about that love and that forgiveness. You know, she know about that, and she just can't understand. And this is why I think she having problems.
It's not only that she lost her father, you know, but she almost practically lost her mother too, because I had to do double shift. I guess sometimes she would feel like, Mom, you're not here with me. You know, I said, but Titi, I have to work. You know, I have to keep a roof over our head. You know, I have to keep food in the house. I felt bad because I wasn't there with her a lot and stuff, you know, and to help her do her homework and stuff, you know, or fix her that dinner that she needed. And I didn't want to feel like that. I was just like, you know, pushing her to the side or letting somebody else take care of her and stuff, you know, because I think she really felt like that, you know, because I wasn't ever there.
He couldn't afford no help. You know, if they had drug programs, you had to pay a certain amount of money. And my brother had a problem getting employment because of his record. They wouldn't hire him because of his past. What did I do so bad that I deserve a life sentence because of my past, because I'm an addict? These are the questions he have and write me and tell me, why am I spending the rest of my life in prison? When you meet Galen, first you probably get a smile. He has a very good sense of humor. He always clowning. He's a clown.
You're going to meet the most hilarious man. He is so funny. He is so funny. I mean, he's something like the life of the party. Hey, honey. Hey, honey. Deep down inside, I know he's coming home one day. I know he's coming home one day, and it won't be that 25 years to life neither. He's gonna come home. And when he do come home, we're gonna be a family like we used to be. I always tell Terivia, no matter what, and I know it's hard, focus on you. Focus on your schoolwork, you know. We'll deal with this. We'll go through this together.